Before we've modeled the body, the neck, and the back leg. Now at this point, I've joined the back leg to the body, and that's what I'm going to do here with the front leg, which I've now modeled. And we'll go over how to join these pieces together. I've also joined the neck to the body at this point. So we'll go over joining these front legs to the body. Now, I've modeled the front legs are modeled after the back legs. So I cloned the back legs up here and I made some structural changes to the front legs. I raised the knee a little bit, turned the hoof out, used soft selection to bend out some sections, make them look different than the back leg, but that fits my concept pretty well. And right now these back or front legs are a separate object from the rest of the body. So we'll go over how to seam these and some potential problems you might have. I've also centered the mesh at this point, so my symmetry modifier will be right on the center. And I've done that by clicking on the body and zeroing out the y-axis, which will center everything. And I've got my front legs centered as well, and the front legs, as you can see, have symmetry on them, and when I take symmetry off, that other leg will disappear. So this way, everything that I do on one side will be done on the other. You wouldn't have to do it that way. You could apply symmetry later, or maybe you're just doing both legs separate if your model's asymmetrical. I also have a light in the scene and a ground plane, so I can start to get an idea of the form of my model. And you can see this is what my model is right now, with these front legs separate from the body. The smoothing groups are now on the model, and I can kind of get a feel for how heavy this model is starting to look, the smaller details, the creases, just to kind of get an idea of what it is I've got to work with here. Okay, and first thing that we're going to do is grab the body, go down to editable poly in this case, and we're going to attach the front legs. There they are. So now they're on there. So now we only have this mesh to deal with symmetry on it. You can see if I turn symmetry off, we're going to lose the body piece there. And my legs are now on there. And I think what I'm going to do, let's see, how do we want to do this? I think I'm going to undo attaching those for a second. I'm going to turn symmetry off on the body, symmetry off here, and now I'm going to attach them. We'll attach this guy. And now I can turn symmetry back on and they should behave a little bit better. It's a little bit better way of doing it. Okay, and I'm going to maximize this viewport so we can see what's going on. And we'll zoom in here to this shoulder area and we'll start to seam this piece on. Okay, we're going to be in vertex mode for this. We're going to be doing a lot of target welding. Now I have bent these vertices to sort of match up with the mesh. And to do that I needed to add some edge loops to match up with the body, but I've intentionally left some not matched up so we can deal with what happens if they're not perfectly matched up. I've also deleted the polygons of the body and the polygons on the back of this front leg so that this is an open shell in between these two objects. So I'll go to target weld and we'll just start welding these, and it's pretty obvious where some of these are going to go and what they hook up to. I'm going to leave the ones that aren't so obvious until later. I'm not going to worry too much about areas like this that give me some little dents and dimples. It's not the most important thing right now. You can also hit Alt-X if you can't see through to where you want to be. So this particular piece I'm going to bend out. I've also got a piece here that we're going to need to deal with. So I'm going to bend this out, bend this one out, and we've got a piece back here too. So we'll bend that out and then we'll see with Alt-X what we have to work with. Now here, I really don't need this little triangle anymore. It's not any use to me. And I want as many quads as I can get, so I'm going to get rid of that little triangle. I'm going to grab this and just kind of, there we go, move it up a little bit. There we go. I think I welded the wrong piece. That's what I'm looking at here. I want that piece to there. That's what I want. Okay, and then this little vertice is what I want. I want him to go up. You can see I'm trying to kind of match these quads up so that they've got nice round structures to them. There we go. We'll target weld this guy there. So now it's going to hit the leg and come out and around. That's what I want. This piece here I did earlier, we're going to scoot it over and down a little bit just to match up with that piece I just made. Make sure you're spinning this around a lot so you can get the structure right. Now, as we work our way down and around here, you can see this quad is a little bit deformed, so it can come down, get a little bit closer, and I'm just going to target weld that right in there. That should work. And I'm going to go to Alt-X mode again just to see what I've got to hook up here. You can hook these up in Alt-X mode if you want. So I just seamed that piece up. And Alt-X again, it looks like these are fine. And it can be hard to tell what you're looking at times. Now down here in the bottom, I've got this row of polygons here running through the body. Give this a spin so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. There's some polygons running through the body right there. And those I don't want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete those polygons. Yeah, I think we'll delete them. It's going to work better for me. So we'll delete these 3 polygons down here. And then we'll seam this area back up by hand. And that's going to make it a little bit easier for us. So we'll go to Polygon, Create. And we'll hope we can find the right vertices here. So there's one new polygon. Now I'm not entirely happy with that polygon shape, so I'm going to go to Vertices. And there's a vertex right up in here is the one I want to change. No, not that one. It is that one. Okay, and then this guy is going to scoot down this way. And what I'm doing is kind of clearing the way to make this polygon structure a little bit more square. And I'm going to scoot this one over while I'm here. If I can get hold of it. There we go. That's the one I'm looking for. I'm trying to get these separated out a little bit more. See, there's a polygon back in behind there, and that's the one I'm going to have to deal with. So now we'll go back to our polygons. Go to Create. There we go. And take a look at that and make sure that's right. Oh, got a hoof in my way there. So we'll spin this around now, get a better angle on this. There we go. Okay, and we'll go back to vertices, this one here. I need to bend a little bit in, and I think we'd probably be pretty well off if we welded this one in here, which means this guy can go. So let's just target weld this piece right there. I think that'll work for us since it's on the underside of our little beast. There we go. We got some weird polygons underneath there right now that I'm not entirely happy with. I think we'd be better off just welding this one here over. There we go. I think that's probably a better seam overall. Now that's going to leave this area here. We can target weld this one right in here. That's going to leave a quad here, but it's kind of a stretched out quad again. So we're just going to nudge this guy over. We're just playing with these vertices enough to get some shape in there. And there we go. That's our quad that we're going to create. There we go. And we'll follow this seam around. And we're in Alt-X mode again here. This is the next vertice that needs to be seamed up, is right there. And he's going to attach right here. And I think we probably can, just by moving a few of these around, I think we can weld him in place. That's the one we're talking about. And we're going to weld him right here. If we can't, that means there's another polygon attached in there, so that's what it looks like. And so we got to dig a polygon out under there. There we go. Yeah. So what we want, we were aiming at the wrong one. There we go. He's going to go there. So that's looking pretty good so far. Zoom out. We're almost around. Now, in this case, this is a good example where we may need to add an edge loop. And you can see if I go back here to solid mode and I target weld this piece here, which makes the most sense, because this piece is already going to weld right in there, we need an edge loop right here, because this one doesn't have anywhere to connect. Now we could use cut, and I could just cut a piece through here, but then it doesn't go all the way through. So the easiest way to do that is just to go to edge. We'll select this edge here, and we'll say ring. You can see it's going to select all the way around, and we'll just hit connect. That's going to give us a connection running through there, and now we can target weld this piece together. So this one can go here, this one can go there, and now we have mostly quads, and we didn't create any new triangles. Now we've got the same problem over here in that we're going to need another edge loop going through this area, but we already seamed this one up. So we'd probably be better pulling this one down. So actually let's do this. Let's take this one. We're going to push him down a little bit. I'm going to take this guy, nudge him out and up, and we'll target weld those together. So now we've got this loop right here, and we'll follow it around and see where the best place to put the edge loop is going to be, and it's probably going to be right up here in this area. Now I've got some choices. I believe I already, let me double check, did I already weld? No, didn't weld that one together. And that one's going to weld together. Okay, so we've got this piece here that we need to deal with. I could just weld this right up here, but now I've created a new try, and that's not really what I want to do. So we have a choice. Since we seamed this side up already, I think what I'm going to do is run an, let's look here. We could either have a try here, because I could go around this way and then up. That's not a bad choice. I think we'll do that. Let's go across here. There we go. And we'll hit connect. There we go. I'm going to deselect this one since it's not going through that edge there. And then I'll go to cut. So polygon. Cut. We're going to cut this one here. I've got a lot of stuff running in the background. It's taking longer than I thought it would. There we go. Okay, and now we've got pretty much everything that we're going to need. I'm going to go to vertex now, target weld. We'll weld these together because they're going to need to be welded unless I already did. Now I've gotten confused as to what I've already welded. Let's see. Nope, they're already there. Oh, I see what I've done. I made a mistake. When I cut it, I didn't cut all the way through. So I'm going to need to go back to my cut command and cut all the way through. There we go. That looks like it did it. Now I'm going to target weld these together, and we got what we wanted. I'm just going to move this so it flows a little bit more with that edge loop. Now if we follow that edge around, we're left with this area over here, which has got to be dealt with. And in looking at this, I think the best way to do this, I'm going to go up here first and then see what I have to work with. So I got to split these up to match up with this edge here. So I'm going to go up here, really to, let's see, if we go up here, we don't want those coming together. So I'm going to go all the way up to here, and I'm going to hit connect, and you can see it'll connect right through there for the time being. So I'm going to target weld this guy together. I don't need this triangle here anymore, so one of these is going to have to be glued together. Let's see, we can go this way. We can go this way, this way. This might work. Now that gives us 2 tries. We don't want that. Right now we've got 4 quads and 1 try, so it might be best to leave that for the time being, and then we'll follow this up and around. And we can certainly target weld these guys together. That'll work for us. Okay. And I think we're going to leave this for the time being, but I am going to flip or turn this one edge right here so that it flows a little bit better. I think that'll work better. There we go. What I'm looking at is to see if I can get rid of this and move that try to some other spot, but I think for the time being we'll stay with it. Now going back down here, we still have this area right here. Let me turn this so the light's not right in it. We have this area right here that has this really big, large, kind of 5-sided polygon in there right now. And I don't want that whole piece. So that one I'm going to delete. And what I'm going to do is just rebuild this. And I'm going to kind of match it up with my existing vertices. So I'm going to pull this one down. There we go. And I think we can build these guys in real quick. So we'll create them. This guy, this guy. There we go. And this one. Okay. I think that'll work for us. And that should seam our whole leg in. We went all the way around. So the leg is all seamed in. It's on both sides because it has symmetry on it at this point. Now I need new smoothing groups on that so that I can really see what it looks like. And all I'm going to do for my smoothing groups at this point, because I really don't need them to be perfect, I just need to see what it looks like, is grab all the polygons that I just created, worked on, and I'm just going to add one of these smoothing groups back onto them. So there'll be two. Doesn't really matter which ones you use because we just need kind of enough to see what it looks like right now. We can get the smoothing groups a little bit more perfect later. Turn this off, fold that up, and let's see what we have to work with. There we go. And you can see that we've seamed that whole area up, and we've got a pretty good looking mesh there to move forward on. I'm not crazy about this area right here. I think I'm going to pull a few of these out right here. Just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. I just got rid of that section right there I didn't really like. There we go. Okay, I think we're going to go with that. And we'll start building the head here in one of the next videos and the tail, and we're almost done with our